I feel like life is so confusing, but then I'm like, but does life need to be that confusing? Am I just making it more complicated than it needs to be? But then I think, I just don't know what I'm doing. Oh God. Hi, I'm Olivia and I'm creating this little space on YouTube just to document all the highs and lows of my life, so you know that anything you're going through, you're probably not alone, and this is a space I want to create so we can all navigate and guide each other through this crazy thing called life. So if it sounds like a bit of you and you need a bit of help, not that I need the help, then subscribe to stay along for the journey. But for this video, I wanted to make a real, raw and real video about how I've been feeling lately. So that's why I'm just sat on my sofa in my comfies, not in the best lighting, but I felt like, you know what, it doesn't need to be the fanciest thing. I just want to make this video to share just in case anyone else is feeling like this too. And I do just want to mention, I'm not making this video to be like, oh poor Liv, oh let's feel sad for Liv. No, that is not why. I don't need that. I'm making this just because if there's anyone else feeling like this too, I want you to know that you're not alone, and like other people are feeling like it too, because I've been feeling like there's something wrong with me, and like, why has everyone else got their stuff sorted out and I haven't? Like, what's wrong with me? But actually, like, a little logical part of my brain somewhere is telling me like, this is quite normal. A lot of people go through it and it's okay. Sometimes these points, I always say your low moments make your highest moments, and I do really believe that. Obviously it's hard to feel it when you're in it, but I do genuinely feel like the low points that you go through are what make the highs so high. So yeah, that is why I'm making this video. But recently, and I don't know about anyone else, I have been feeling so like stuck and lost and like confused and just really low. I do really feel like the dark evenings, obviously I'm in the UK, so it's winter now, the dark evenings have made a massive effect on my mental health, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but if I think about the correlation of when things started to go a bit down, I don't want to say downhill, but downhill, it does kind of go with the change of like the clocks and the dark evenings. But I've just felt like I've had a real burst of all the insecurities I thought I'd drawn a line with come up, and I've been really feeling very insecure about myself, and like I want to change jobs, and it's really playing on my mind, like I feel like I'm never going to get out of the job I am because I'm too scared to do anything for the future me. Like everything feels so hard, everything feels so scary. I feel like I'm not good enough to be able to make the next steps into what I need to do to get there. I've been feeling like I just don't have anything to offer anyone or anything. And I just really feel like my negative thoughts have started to run the show a little bit more. I felt like I'd got into a really good place of being in control of my mind and being in control of what was happening up there. And the past few months, I feel like that voice has started to take control a little bit more and like run the show and tell me what it thinks. And I've just been believing it and like bowing down to it. And yeah, it's not been fun. It's not been great, and like I said, I'm not making this to make you feel sorry for me. I just want other people, if you are feeling like this, that it's okay, and like it does happen to the best of us. And I do feel like it is a part of life you have to go through. Like it's from these times where you grow the most, and I do feel like I'm starting to become a bit more of aware of what's happening in my head. Like before I was just like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, I feel really bad, like everything feels rubbish, everything feels hard. But now I'm like, okay, maybe this might be contributing to why I'm feeling like this, maybe this area of my life, and I'm starting to like piece the puzzles together of why I might be feeling like this. And it's one thing I've just like really realised is, which I did know this, but like you forget if you go through a good stage, just how easy it is to fall into a negative headspace and then like a negative atmosphere. It's so easy to get caught up in that. Like once those negative thoughts come, you can just run with them for miles, and it's hard to like stop that pattern from happening. But now I feel like I'm starting to acknowledge and be aware, like, oh, like I've not been doing so much of this stuff because I've been feeling really insecure about it, and like my mind's been telling me I can't do it because I'm not good enough, or I don't look this way, or I don't have the ability to do it, like, and I've just been falling into those negative thoughts, whereas now I'm starting to realise that that's what's been happening. I didn't realise that's what was going on. So now when these patterns are happening, like when I wake up in the morning, my mind recently has been going straight to negative things, which hasn't happened for so long. Like as soon as I'm like awake enough to like realise I'm awake, I'm straight into the things that I'm not looking forward to, or that I'm feeling shit about, or that aren't going my way, or that I'm not good at. And it's like, whoa, I've been awake for 2 minutes and I'm already here. How has this happened? And like I said, this hasn't happened. I felt like I got into a really good place of feeling good, being in control of what's going on, and trying to do everything I can to better myself. And I just feel like I've completely like fallen out of that. But now I'm starting to realise that that's what's happening, and that's the greatest thing, to actually have the awareness of what's going on. And I can't change it overnight, but the first step in finding that awareness and knowing that like, okay, this time has been really shitty, my mind has been taking control and things have been hard. Okay, that's great. We've acknowledged that. We're kind of like the first peep out of the hole. So going forward, I'm really just gonna make sure I'm watching what's going on and being aware of when I wake up and I'm really negative, to be like, okay, right, yes, those things are a bit rubbish, but do we need to focus on them right now and maybe combat it with one thing I'm grateful for? Just to like challenge my thought process and me take back the control. So that's definitely something that I'm glad I've had the awareness that it's happening and that I'm not feeling great, and how now I feel like, okay, we know what's going on, I'm gonna help myself. I also feel like I've like lacked on my normal routine, and I am the sort of person who does like a routine, and I like knowing what's coming and I can just like get on with it, because if I don't, I kind of like fall to pieces. And I feel like when you're not feeling great, it's very easy to just not do the things. She's like, oh, I just don't feel like it. But then for me personally, not having the routine and not having that stability really like plays with me. So little things like my red light therapy and meditation have completely gone out the window. I've just felt like I've not had any time for it. So that's something I really want to make sure I'm doing every day, just 10 minutes, just sitting down and having that time to myself, just to like see what's going on and evaluate how I'm feeling. So that's something I'm really going to try. I'm not going to set myself loads of things because I don't want to overwhelm it. Like I do think I've got into this place because I've been so overwhelmed. I've been putting so much pressure on myself and I've been so busy. So I don't want to now like create this whole like massive routine that I'm going to do to make me feel better that's only going to enhance that pressure and busyness. So I'm just literally doing a few things just to make sure I'm looking after myself and like taking back the control a little bit. So the red light therapy and meditation, massive one. I'm also going to try every single day. I'm not giving myself a set time. Like I'm not doing it as soon as I wake up, because sometimes I am like in the morning before work, it's a busy time. But I'm going to try and write down at least 3 things I'm grateful for, just to flip my mindset on it. Because what I've realised is when I'm like going with all the negative thoughts, you feel rubbish. But then if you're like, oh, hold on, let's just think of one thing we're grateful for. And you think of one thing, you can genuinely feel the energy change inside of you, and like your mood actually lifts. Like it actually is a physical thing you can feel. So I'm really going to try, I'm not doing toxic positive, I'm not doing toxic oh my God. I'm not doing toxic positivity because I know that's not great, but equally, there is a lot to be grateful for. There is a lot of amazing things. And just the fact that we're here today, that we can see everything around us, blah, 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 like it's all amazing. So there is always something that you can find that can be grateful for. It's not going to change your whole mood. It's not going to change your whole life, but it's just going to put things into perspective. And for me personally, it just helps lift my energy up a little bit. It's like, okay, at least I've got that. I can focus on that. So that's another thing I really want to do. And I also have noticed that I'm constantly filling up my cup of like bettering myself. So like going to the gym, trying to do everything around the house, trying to do this and that I'm actually forgetting to fill up the cup of just doing simple little things. Like at the weekend, maybe going to explore a little town or sitting down reading my book with a cup of coffee. The other day I had a bath. Oh, that was lovely. I actually craved it because I always say I'm not a bath person, but I actually craved it. So it's obviously my body being like, I want something calm and like self-loving. So I actually had a bath that was so nice. It's Christmas time, so like trying to like in the evening sit down and like watch a bit of a Christmas film. That's really nice. So I just want to make sure I'm filling up more than one cup, because for me personally, I think I need both, and it is very hard to have balance, and you do have seasons, and I believe you have to focus on different seasons. When I say seasons, I mean like some seasons, like I want to get out of my job, so I need to work a bit harder to get out of my job, and that's just the season I'm in. And then the next season I might be able to have more chill time and more time to do slower paced things. But I do think for me personally, I need a bit of both. I can't go long periods of time not filling up either or. Like I need to have a little dribble in each sometimes. So making sure I'm being productive is great for me because it makes me feel good. It pushes me out my comfort zone. It builds up evidence that I can do things that I didn't. But equally, having downtime or exploring new places or meeting my friends and things also fills up a cup that needs to be looked after as well. I hope this is making sense. I'm kind of just like rambling off of my head, which, as I've probably made clear, hasn't been the clearest of spaces. But yeah, I'm also going to make sure I'm just filling up both cups and that I'm doing things that are going to lift me as well as push me. But the one last thing I do want to do, because I do believe the only way you can get rid of limiting beliefs and negative thoughts is to show them that they're wrong. And I've been having a lot of like doubts about my future and the things I want to do. And when I sit down and properly think about it with a logical brain, I can do them. Like it's not that hard. I'm just not doing it because I'm scared. And that only feeds the limiting belief and the negative thoughts. So I really want to try and push myself in little ways to get there. So like learning about the things I need to do and like just doing it. Like just do it, which is hard. But when I know that it's going to make it better, I feel like I should just do it. So yeah, this might have been a really rambling video. And it might not have made sense, but in a way that kind of makes sense because that's how I've been feeling. My head has been a bit of a dark, crazy, confused, low space at the moment. And if there's anyone else feeling like that too, it's really rubbish. It's really rubbish. And it's not an easy space to be in. But you are not alone, and there are other people. I don't want anyone else to feel like I didn't feel like it was just me and everyone else got their shit together except from me, because it's not true. No one has it together. We're all trying, and I'm going to try my hardest going forward, but no one has it all together. You can't do everything. And just make sure you are trying for yourself. you're trying to be there for yourself, you're trying to look after yourself, and you're trying to be there and be better. But yeah, I hope it's made sense. As I always say, hold space for yourself, hold space for others, and keep shining as always, because even when you're feeling low, there's a little glimmer of sparkle in you. You just got to dig deep and find it, because it will always be there. And I will see you in my next video for hopefully a less confusing and uplifting video. Hey, it's Christmas. Let's get ho 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 jolly. See you next time.